Welcome to this week's Premier League show. It's been a busy week. Couple of most teams playing 2 games since we were last here. There's been another Premier League sacking. We'll talk about that briefly in a minute. But at the top of the table, Liverpool. Obviously, we spoke about it last week. Had a big game against Manchester City. If City avoided defeat, it was done and dusted for Liverpool. We thought. We both felt Liverpool could win the game, which was exactly what happened. But the game itself, very briefly, Liverpool obviously won it 1-0. Mo Salah with a goal, which I've seen people say was actually handball.
Yeah, it was clearly handball.
Hit him, knocked that went forward.
Clearly.
But Man City had a goal disallowed.
Which was clearly a good goal.
Okay.
Clearly.
But what did you actually think on Foden's goal getting disallowed?
There was nothing wrong with it.
There was a little bit of a tug by Haaland.
Yeah, but that's football, innit? That's just life, innit? That's just life. You have to, Fabinho was already on the floor. I thought Haaland was trying to help him up.
Okay.
Because I thought Fabinho
that's fine.
I thought Fabinho was already going down. I thought Haaland's just helping this kid up here. He's just doing the neighbourly thing, what you'd expect. Norwegians are like that.
They are we've seen him when they take the warm-up jacket off. He's the only one that folds it up and passes it to the kid.
He's a neighbourly lad.
He's just a nice
And I think
fella.
he was just trying to hold him up and go like, don't fall over, you might get injured. You've got a bad record of getting injured. And I'm going to help you stay on your feet. And that's all it was. And City scored about 12 minutes later. And it goes back and they disallow it. And then Liverpool get a goal through what was clearly handball. Clearly. That nobody saw, but it was clearly handball. And yeah.
Just the Premier League time.
Just the Premier League, keeping the Premier League going, innit?
There you go.
The script writers have done a great job again, haven't they? Absolutely amazing little bit of script, you know.
Bit of WWE at its finest. Fair play. Liverpool followed that up with another win in midweek. They beat West Ham United 1-0 at home. Darwin Núñez with the winner.
Yeah.
West Ham missing a penalty. Jared Bowen.
Souček
Alisson good save. And
Souček missing that shot at the end.
A good chance as well to get West Ham a point. But a good week for Liverpool, obviously 6 points.
Yeah, they got themselves back
into the mix for the top 4. I don't think the league, personally. But at the weekend, obviously, we saw Arsenal, who are still the league leaders, go to Leeds and get a big win.
And again, another bit of Premier League scripting, wasn't it? A power cut. VAR went off. And then did VAR stay off? Because, Arsenal took the lead, and then Leeds got a penalty where the play was 14 yards offside. Like they say, daylight. There was a black hole. There was a black hole between him and the last defender. VAR. I mean, the linesman's looking. I mean, they literally give him a line on the pitch. It was already there. He doesn't see it. Does go to VAR, and somehow he gives it. And it's just like, this is pathetic.
Is this a mad bit of the rule where they talk about if there's 2 offences in the thing, they're only looking for 1. So even though there's another one, they're not looking at it. Because we've seen this a few times.
He's offside, isn't he? He's offside.
He's offside.
He's offside. The game stops there. And hopefully when we get the proper good technology and not these like stupid fake lines, that might be put into practice.
Everton have seen this season with Aston Villa away when it was a penalty on Conor Cody. Luca Dean drags him down, but then it goes to Anthony Gordon, who's offside, he scores. The goal's rightly disallowed because he's off, but the penalty was like 1 second before that should have been looked at. And that it isn't only Everton, there's been other teams as well.
Newcastle had a perfectly good goal rule. That was it, good goal rule. Because the ref was looking for a foul and wasn't looking at the other angle, and I know
it is a bit mad.
It's just like, open your eyes. How can you not see it's offside? How can nobody on the pitch see it's offside? Ridiculous. Anyway, Patrick Bamford does what Patrick Bamford does best and misses. And
Saka gets the winner, and it's a great win for Arsenal.
It's a good win, and obviously they were supposed to play City in the week. But obviously they had Europa League stuff.
And beat PSV, didn't he, to sort that out as well. Manchester United, a lot of talk about them over the weekend. Coming into these games, obviously we'd seen them get a win at Everton, and then followed it over the Europa League win as well, didn't he? And they had Newcastle at home on the Sunday in an eventful game, 0-0, eventful for 0-0. both missed lots of chances. United missed a couple of skill-set sitters at the end. And then they had their second game in the week, which was against Spurs, who'd had a good win against Everton at the weekend as well. And what was a big game, I think, for Man United, because even though they'd had that win at Everton and people were starting to go, can they get on a run? They then draw with Newcastle. And I know Newcastle doing well at the moment, but a lot of people would have expected United to beat Newcastle. But they do. Then they go to Spurs, and can you beat a team who are in really good form? And they come up trumps with it and won the game 2-0. Excellent result for them, a 2-0 victory. But inevitably, there was a lot of talk after the game about Cristiano Ronaldo. Fred and Bruno Fernandes got the United goals, but Ronaldo.
Fred and Bruno Fernandes, are they a couple?
They're a couple. They got the.
Ladies and gentlemen, can I welcome Fred and Bruno Fernandes?
They're thinking of releasing a song, but very much the Chaz and Dave of United.
They didn't have the same second name, Chaz and Dave, though.
No. Anyway, I'm going to go through Fred's real name.
Fred Fernandes.
31 names. Edison and Essamando and all of that stuff. But obviously, a lot has come out of this Cristiano walking down a tunnel while the game is still going on, because he wasn't coming on.
He was...
No, but at the time, he wasn't coming on, so he went into the dress, which I always find but the reality is...
Come on. He rejected coming on the pitch. And he's been kicked out of the squad for this weekend's game. And I think he might have played his last game for Manchester United.
I was just going to say, when that happens, is there any way back? If a manager says to you, get ready to come on, we need you here, you're coming on. They go to Chelsea at the weekend in a big game at 5:30 Saturday night. We need you, get ready, you're coming on for the last 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes, whatever, and you say, no, I'm not. How do you come back from that?
I don't think he does. I think he's been kicked out the squad, clearly. The manager's come out and said that. The manager's laid down his authority. I think that's really important. There'll be 3 Premier League games after this one. I think there must be Europa League games as well, mustn't they? So they might be opportunities. Then you've got the World Cup. Then you would imagine anyone who plays in the World Cup will get a week off or so. And then the window's open. And I think he might go. I think he might cancel his contract. I don't think this can go on. I don't think he's wanted. Ten Hag doesn't want him.
He's a distraction.
I don't think he wants to be there. He wants to play Champions League football, which he still can. And I think this is the end for him. Okay, listen. He might still play games, but I think this is the end. I think
the beginning of the end, isn't it?
I don't think it's even the beginning of the end. I think the beginning of the end was in the summer.
I
think this is just the end. I think this is just the end. I think if you refuse to come on and you're saying you're bigger than the club, then the club has to put his foot down. And Ten Hag, this is where this managerial career really starts at Manchester United, dealing with a player like Ronaldo and showing people where this is where I think United have failed in the last couple of years. Is Solskjaer tried to do it, but then the signing of Ronaldo undermined everything. Getting rid of Lukaku,
he wants
Paul Pogba out, and I think when they brought Ronaldo in, it basically reset it all, and he was like, well, I've got no power now. If Ten Hag is going to have any power, which I think he will have, and other people are going to respect the manager, and you're going to get that discipline, then I think you have to get rid of Ronaldo, and I don't know where he'll go, but I do think I think this is very much the end.
700 career goals, so to make that call, he's still a big player for them, but obviously the manager's got to set down his own rules, and if you don't abide by them, and there's already been a bit of ding-dong between them anyway, over certain things, hasn't it? He had a little spat with Rangnick as well, didn't he, at Brentford last year and stuff, and he's gone back there, and even though he's done really well, he's never seemed like he's fully settled, but he has been obviously an unbelievable footballer. And over on the playlist on 888 Sport, they've been talking about the best ever foreign import into the Premier League, and surely Cristiano Ronaldo is in that conversation. But let's hear what they had to say.
If you want to talk about Salah going missing, Thierry Henry, terrible big game player.
Mate,
Freddie Ljungberg, better big game.
big time player.
Big game player.
Yeah, 100%.
He won leagues.
Freddie Ljungberg, a better big game player
He
for
won
Arsenal.
leagues.
100%.
Is Freddie Ljungberg a better big game player for
Right, he
Arsenal?
won the leagues. When we won the league at White Hart Lane, we won the league at Old Trafford.
Big game player. Big game
player.
player.
Big time player.
Big game player. Big game player.
Big
Champions
game.
League, FA Cup, big game player.
Champions League, we were down to 10 men.
Do you remember when Michael Owen won the? Do you remember when Michael Owen won the FA Cup?
No, hold on.
Thierry Henry didn't win it for Arsenal.
He had one missed off the
He
right.
won everything. Don't even talk.
No, but big game player.
Because you're trying to squeeze in Drogba, yeah, but there's no squeezing in when it comes to this.
I'm happy to put Drogba as fourth, but he's not getting above Aguero for me.
I'm with you, Evan.
Not getting above Aguero.
No, you've just got the hump because
I ain't got the hump. I ain't worried. He's number one. You even got him number one. I ain't worried.
You've got the hump because I just gave a little dig to Thierry Henry in
there's
jest,
no digs,
and
man.
now
There's no
you can't
digs on
hear
Thierry
it.
Henry.
Because I said Freddie Ljungberg's a better big game player. You've now tried to get
there's
me
no
back
digs,
by
man.
being snide on Drogba.
Digs.
Yeah.
There's been unbelievable footballers coming from abroad, hasn't it? From foreign countries. We've had some tremendous players. Thierry Henry, he was the subject of that, was unbelievable. I don't know what Rory, but we have to approach with caution with Rory, because Haaland, don't disrespect anyone else with Haaland. He's gonna struggle. No, listen, Thierry Henry was unbelievable, but Cristiano Ronaldo, we just mentioned 700 career goals. You can go back and talk about, Didier Drogba, Kevin De Bruyne. I think's unbelievable. What an import he's been. But from an Everton perspective, just very quickly, who do you think's been the best foreign import Everton? Because Everton have had people like Andrei Kanchelskis, but wasn't he here very long, was he? And so who would you say?
See, for me, there's one name, but I don't know technically whether you can say this is an import. It was Tim Cahill.
Okay, well, he's not.
No, but we bought him from Millwall.
Yeah.
And they never bought him from anywhere. Like his granddad was a Millwall fan who basically brought him over from Australia and took him to the training ground and went, look, my grandson's boss of footy, give him a go.
I think it's a bit more than that, but yeah.
But he is Australian. Sort of. I know, but he should never really have played for Australia.
No, he
should have played for one of the islands, shouldn't he?
Islands,
So, but I think it's Tim Cahill for 1.5 million or whatever it was. I think for even if it's not even just Everton. I think for one of the best imports, I'm going to go Tim Cahill for what he did in the Premier League was unbelievable.
For pure value for money, absolutely. I mean, as an Evertonian, we loved him. He's fantastic. It's a good shout. It is difficult. Everton have had quite a few good ones, But again, people like Lukaku, who's brilliant for Everton, but obviously come from Chelsea and those kind of things. I always love Steven Pienaar. I think he was fantastic for Everton. Mikel Arteta was good for Everton as well, and there's other ones. But yeah, Cahill is a shout definitely for the likes of value from Pienaar as well. Always 2 million quid, but value for money. Arteta was about that. But value for money and goals, and then obviously all the stuff he did at the World Cup, which builds your profile as well. Cahill is a good shout. Who would you say, very quickly, like overall?
Premier League, Henry.
Would you?
Yeah, I think Henry was just unbelievable.
Better than Ronaldo, would you say? He's played longer in the Premier League than Ronaldo,
I think Henry was unbelievable.
Henry was fantastic.
I think he played his best football in the Premier League. I think Ronaldo plays best football at Real Madrid.
Yeah, that's a good shout as well.
So
Drogba was good though, wasn't
he? Drogba was unbelievable.
And De Bruyne's been fantastic.
Drogba was unbelievable. Yeah. Considering he came from Marseille and there was not really anything. His goal scoring record wasn't amazing, and he came a little bit later in his career. He was unbelievable and became like the how a player on his own should play up front. Yeah. But no, I'd say Henry. I think he just.
Henry was fantastic. He had everything, didn't he? What a fantastic footballer. What do you make of Spurs then? Quickly, they obviously beat Everton I mean, they could have been 2-0 down against Everton, funnily enough, the way the game went, but followed it up with that. A disappointing defeat for them, I think it's at United.
Yeah, I think that was a tough game. Going to Old Trafford's always a tough game. And Man United, I think, are
better than
what people think they are. Yeah. And I think they're a little bit more workman-like this season.
I think that's what it is, I think that they do look, when I watch them, they do look a little bit disjointed, but they've got brilliant individuals. You can just win a game. And I think the more work he does at Ten Hag, the better deal.
I think Martinez is going to turn out to be one of the signings of the season. I genuinely do. I think he's.
I still think you can get at him, but he is a good player.
No, I just think he's. I think people don't quite understand how good he is, and therefore they don't think he's going to be as good as he is. So therefore, it makes him better. No, I think he's a really good player.
I mean, don't forget they lost their opening 2 games of the season, and don't think he played in either of them. And then the only other game he'd lost.
I think he played at Brentford.
Did he play at Brentford?
Yeah, because I think he got out jumped for like one of the set pieces, and everyone said he was garbage.
But they were horrendous
No,
against Brentford.
you have to just adapt, and he has adapted. Listen, Cannavaro.
But they've lost 1 game since then, and that's the City.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
And Brentford was August, the second week in August 15th or something. Yeah. So they've lost 1 game since then. That was to Man City.
So I was just going to say, then Cannavaro was one of the best centre-backs we've had in the last 25, 30 years, and he wasn't that tall.
No.
And he lifted the World Cup.
No, for Spurs, just to keep ticking along, won't they? You know, they've got to pick it back up.
They'll be, again, flat-track bullies most of the time.
What do you think with the... Because obviously you've got Arsenal, Tottenham, Man City, in there. Chelsea, under Potter, he seems to be...
Yeah.
You know, the people keep saying, oh, this is his biggest test, this game, and he's got to get... You know, he's going to take time for his full things to work, what he wants, what he actually wants to achieve. But they went to Villa Sunday and got a 2-0 win. Yeah. Good win. And then they went to Brentford in midweek. And I thought they'd follow this up with a victory because Brentford have been a bit wobbly. And they end up drawing 0-0.
Yeah, I think Villa had loads of opportunities in the first half, and it was a Mings mistake that leads to the goal and a great free kick by Mason Mount. Brentford have got back to winning ways this week, haven't they?
They won on Friday night, didn't they?
Won on Friday, yeah, and then
Brighton,
and then obviously followed up with Chelsea, the draw against Chelsea. And I think Chelsea are exactly where I think a lot of people probably thought they'd be this season. I think Potter's doing it's only early, and obviously none of them are his players, and he's keeping things ticking over. Yeah. I think. I mean, let's look at Brighton. They've lost 2 of their last 3 games. They haven't scored, since the
3-3 all at Liverpool.
I know, and that was basically the Potter team, wasn't it? And then he's gone full Roberto Martinez very quickly. He's made it his team very, very quickly, hasn't he? And now they can't score goals again. So. Yeah, I think Chelsea will be all right. But Man United Chelsea this weekend will be a fantastic look at where they both are. So that'll be a really interesting one.
I mean, looking at the next couple of places in the league, I mean, Newcastle are in 6th on 18 points. And very workmanlike, getting winning jobs, games. Not conceding goals. Yeah,
got to draw Old Trafford, beat Everton on Wednesday night. 4 points out of 2 difficult games.
Only lost 1 game this season.
No, they're doing all right.
Well.
Doing all right.
And that was injury time against Liverpool, 97th minute, wasn't it? So they're solid enough. Liverpool now up into 7th, like we said before. And Brighton, you just mentioned, they started the season really well. I've hit a little bit of a brick wall, haven't you?
Yeah.
No goals.
Stop scoring.
No
Stop
goals.
Scoring. We know that teams who can't score find it a little bit tough to win games.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. We did mention before, should just mention Fulham, by the way, who were doing really well under Marco Silva, 15 points from their games. But we did mention before there's been a sacking, and Steven Gerrard became the latest manager to be sacked. He was the favourite to be sacked this week, but we've had losing 3-0 at Fulham was never surviving that. They were 1-0 down, and then
do you think
Douglas Luiz was sent off on that.
Do you think, didn't he get a new contract, Luiz, this last week as well? Do you think, though, it's a case of, I know they got beat by Chelsea, even though the game against Chelsea, they did all right.
Yeah, they had double the attempts at goal, Chelsea did.
Do you think that it might be a case of not only, obviously they're not doing well and the fans are getting a little bit angry, but the timing might be, there's a couple of good managers out there that if we really, really go after, I know there's been talk that Pochettino doesn't want it and there's talk that Tuchel doesn't want it, but do you think the fact that they're out there without jobs has made Villa think, you know what, we get rid of him now, we push really hard and we get someone in before that break, therefore someone who can work with them, and a nice little pre-season, that might be the reason.
I don't think they've got any chance of getting either of those two.
No, but football clubs don't work in real...
No, there'll be other managers, won't there? It wouldn't surprise me if they got Nuno Espirito Santo, to be honest.
God.
No, but I just mean he's an experienced manager who's out there, who they would be very interested in going there, I imagine. I just don't see Thomas Tuchel going to Villa, definitely. Pochettino, I just don't see him. He's turned down probably better suited jobs than that so far. I think there's jumping into another one he's not sure on. I don't think that'll happen, but it wouldn't, Nuno is available. Unless they go, they try to get someone up and coming. But I think if they're gonna try to get another kind of up and coming manager, or they're gonna try and get someone, they've got to. I suppose you've got to just give them a chance to bed in, or give them a chance to do what they're doing. You've got to decide, I think, what you want to do. Villa, I think, obviously, their owners have made some big statements over the last couple of years about we're doing this, very much like Everton. Where maybe it's just a case of, no, we're getting someone in, we're going to back them and build. And we're going to take a slightly different approach.
I think what's difficult, though, is that, look at Wolves. They've been to like 3 different managers now. And Villa are chasing the next one. It's like, managers might be thinking, no, I'm all right where I am, and I'm trying to build a profile. And what tends to happen is clubs go, we want the next big thing. The next big thing isn't ready. And then they jump in it. I mean, that's always been the sort of thing with Graham Potter, isn't it? We looked at him a couple of times and people gone, oh, we think he's ready, and then there's question marks, and Chelsea have took the gamble because it did feel like it was the right time. So you got to look at these facts. I mean, Michael Beale will be an interesting one because he's rejected Wolves, but he was at Villa. So would they go and say, this place, some of the players, would you be interested? Now he might be going, no, I've got a job with QPR, or he might have even sensed that the Villa job would come up. So maybe he would be one, but maybe people are going, I've got to go into that job at the right time, otherwise I will fail as well. And then maybe having a little bit more of a think about it.
Oh, you've got to, I personally think the time's come where people have stopped just taking jobs. Do you know what I mean? Just for the sake of it. I think if you're a manager looking at Aston Villa, you go, well, hang on, Dean Smith got them up. Dean Smith kept them up. Dean Smith had 3 bad results on the run or something, 4 bad results, and was gone. Despite being a Villa fan, despite fans liking him. I can't speak for every Villa fan, and I'm not, but it seemed to be, there didn't seem to be a clamouring to get rid of Dean Smith. Then they got Gerrard, who was the next big thing, and he's come in and he's had, he's less than a year there, and he's out. So who's the next one then to come in? Did you Everton suffer with this?
Isn't it that? Yeah, isn't it the thing of like? Isn't it that thing of like? You want the next. You spend money. You overhype yourself because you know that you are a traditional big club, and then you want the next big name. I mean, should Steven Gerrard have got the Villa job off the back of what he'd done? No. But
he'd won a trophy at Rangers.
And it's Rangers.
I know, but that's what people would say, wouldn't he?
He had an opportunity to win 6 trophies when he was at Rangers. He won 1 in Scotland.
Okay.
So really, he didn't have the
no, and I'm just saying for them, they'd look and go, well, he was young
this
manager,
is a Premier
high
League.
profile, won a trophy.
If his name was Jock McTavish, would he have got the job?
Sounds good name.
But would he have got the job? The answer is no. I'll just tell you that right now. The answer is no. So it is that thing. What I find really interesting about the Premier League at the moment is, and this is, we're part of this, you've got Everton, Villa and Leeds all next to each other.
Yeah.
Now I know those 2 teams have come back up in the last, say, 4 or 5 years, Leeds. This is their, 3rd year in the Premier League, back in the Premier League. We're all, and Everton including this, we're all trying to find our identity and trying to do things the same way the big boys do it. Right, which is spend money and but we're trying to find shortcuts. We're Everton, we're Leeds, we're Villa. Ain't gonna work anymore. It just ain't gonna work anymore. So therefore,
landscape's changed.
It is completely different now. We can't spend. I know Villa have spent a hell of a lot of money, but that's the problem. You cannot spend enough money. Randy Lerner knew this 10 years ago or 15 years ago. You cannot do this. We cannot do what they do. We have to do what Brentford are doing.
And Brighton.
And the mad thing is, we've got more advantages than them. But what we can't do as football clubs is get out of our own way. Because there's pressure from the fans. And then, you took Fulham, Marco Silva, been left to do the job. It's Fulham, there's no expectations. He's brought them up and he's just keeping things going. And there aren't any expectations. Therefore,
you win off the top 6.
The job always looks better 15 points, 5 more than Everton. He's doing a great job. That's the difference. Our expectations of being Everton, Villa and Leeds are ridiculously high, and but have no merit to them in the world that is now. And that's what we as football clubs have to realise, and that's why really we shouldn't be employing, or they shouldn't be employing a Frank Lampard or a Steven Gerrard. Frank Lampard's a little bit different, I think, because he did go to Derby and did go to Chelsea. Slightly different. But that's why you have to look at things just slightly different, I think, now. Leeds, fair play to them, went and looked completely out the box and getting Jesse Marsch. Fair play to them. They've looked completely out the box. And that was important. If Leeds had gone in and made the mistake of bringing in, again, some name, some ex-footballer, and giving them a chance, even it being, you know, a John Terry or even like a Wayne Rooney or someone like that they would have fallen into the same trap in a way. So what Villa do next is massively important. If they go down the route they've been going on in the last year or so, they'll get it wrong. They have to look at themselves and say, yes, we're a big football club, but we're not
See, the problem,
that big.
No, we're going to finish now. I absolutely agree. For them to go and get someone like Pochettino, that's again, it's a bit like Everton with Ancelotti.
Yeah.
You go and get someone who's big name.
Too big.
But you can't, your football club isn't at that level.
Yeah.
So Pochettino's at Spurs, I don't know, but he's at Spurs and Champions League. Then he's been linked with like Man United's job, not gone to PSG.
Yeah.
Hasn't done a good job at PSG, it has to be said. Then come to Villa, and then all of a sudden it's almost like going to Southampton when he was there again. Will he do that?
Yeah.
The same. Tuchel ain't going. Tuchel's had Dortmund, he's had PSG, he's had Chelsea. He's not going to Villa right now. Villa were 8th, 9th with a big pot of money, maybe.
And also you can tell it by the teams as well. I mean, Leeds I think are slightly different. I probably shouldn't have thrown Leeds in the mix because they aren't doing it like us, but you can I'm just judging by the league. But Villa, like, they've done in a way what Everton have done in a way. It's like, if they were to get a big manager or a big name manager, like we did, we got Ancelotti, and then there's certain expectations then. So Ancelotti wants James Rodriguez, and then James Rodriguez comes with Champions League money. Because why would I sign for you? Why would I sign for Everton? Well, I want Champions League money. If you want me, I want Champions League money. Yeah. Villa have made the same mistake with Coutinho. The manager's gone, we need a big name. We need someone who's going to shake this place up, and it's going to be an example to everybody else. Come to Villa, we're amazing. I want Coutinho. You get him alone, he does all right. Didn't do brilliantly. And then you go, we're having him. We're paying the money and we're paying the wages. Villa, the manager can't succeed because the rest of the team are average, very average footballers, working like the mad thing about it is Villa have players in that squad like Buendia, who is probably as good as Coutinho on a lot less wages, and they pay buttons for him from Norwich. And it's like, why did you need to get? And this is where I'm talking about that thing of needing a big club. We need to have big name players that are past their sell-by date.
Villa have got some great players in
but
the
that's
final
saying.
third.
They could have stuck with Buendia and got as much, if not more, out of him. Then they and now they're stuck with Coutinho on probably a 2, 3, 4 year contract on big wages, and the manager who brought him in isn't there anymore. And that's the problem that clubs like Everton and Villa and Leeds face, is that if you do not get it right and you go over the top, you are stuck where you are.
Leeds are slightly different to be
No, I just threw them in because
they're a big club.
Because there's 3 of us in a row effectively in the table.
No, it's interesting. Leicester, just to finally, Brendan Rodgers has been under unbelievable amount of pressure. They've held the nerves so far. There was rumours last night that he didn't beat Leeds. He was going to get sacked, but he got the win. He won 2-0, their second win of the season.
And Forrest got a draw.
An own goal, and Harvey Barnes with a goal. That game was incredible. Half an hour in, it was 0. Neither team had an attempt at goal, but it was 1-0 to Leicester, which was mad. And Nottingham Forest have picked another point up, but they do look in trouble as well. So very, very interesting. But Arsenal head the top.
4 points
and
still,
Forest are at the bottom as we look at the table. So Arsenal doing really well, obviously. And it's going to be interesting. There's 4 games to go before the break.
Oh, bring that break on, baby.
Yeah.
Bring it on! Cannot wait.
We'll see what happens. There you go. Let us know what you think in the comment section below. Don't forget to get over to 888 Sport. Give the playlist a watch and put your comments in. Subscribe to it as well. Put your comments in.
Tell them why it's Tim Cahill.
Yeah, exactly. Or whoever you think. Put them in here as well in the comments if you want. Let us know who your import is.
Or Mark Hottinger.
Nicholas Alexanderson. Right, we're going. See you later.